Veteran and former TV host Pete Hegseth leaning into his unconventional background for a nominee for U.S. Defense Secretary.
That it's time to give someone with dust on his boots the helm. A change agent, someone with no vested interest in certain companies or specific programs or approved narratives. My only special interest is the warfighter.
Most defense secretary picks garner wide bipartisan support. Not so for Hegseth. Senator Jack Reed is the ranking member of the Senate Armed Services Committee.
I have voted in favor of all your predecessors, including those in the first Trump administration. Unfortunately, you lack the character and composure and competence to hold the position of Secretary of Defense.
Hegseth received praise from Republicans who say a Pentagon focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion has weakened the military's strength.
I have no doubt that he is going to get the Pentagon back to its primary mission, lethal readiness. That warrior ethos is what our enemies will respect. That warrior ethos is what our enemies will fear. And it's that warrior ethos that will keep the peace.
Democrats questioned him about allegations of misconduct and assault and his lack of managerial experience.
We're hiring you to be the CEO of one of the most complex, largest organizations in the world. We're the board of directors here. I don't know of any corporate board of directors that would hire a CEO for a major company if they came and said, you know, I supervised 100 people before.
Hegseth said countering China's aggressive behavior remains a top Pentagon priority.
We will work with our partners and allies to deter aggression in the Indo-Pacific from the Communist Chinese.
But when asked about allies and partners in the 10-nation Indo-Pacific bloc ASEAN, Hegseth failed to name any of them.
Mr. Hegseth, none of those countries are in ASEAN.
Across.
None of those 3 countries that you've mentioned are in ASEAN. I suggest you do a little homework before you prepare for these types of negotiations.
Democrats and Republicans pressed Hegseth on his recent writings and comments against women in combat.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
As Secretary of Defense, will you support women continuing to have the opportunity to serve in combat roles?
Yes, women will have access to ground combat roles, given the standards remain high.
The Pentagon wrote to VOA that the standards for military service have not been lowered. And specifically, combat and specialized units uphold strict and rigorous criteria to ensure only qualified individuals are selected regardless of gender. Senator Elizabeth Warren voiced concern that Hegseth changed his rhetoric to secure votes for his confirmation.
And I hope you understand that many women serving in the military right now might think that if you can convert so rapidly your long-held and aggressively pursued views in just 32 days, that 32 days after you get confirmed, maybe you'll just reverse those views and go back to the old guy who said straight up, women do not belong in combat.
Hegseth needs a majority of the Senate to confirm him. 53 of the 100 U.S. senators are Republican, but it is unclear how every senator will vote. Carla Babb, VOA News, the Pentagon.